This is one of the better days that we have in Farmington Public Schools because our Turnaround Achievement Awards really signify students, families, and staff working together to help students create the future for themselves that they want to. So we are grateful that all of you are here with us. We are grateful to be able to celebrate with you on a wonderful day like this. Focal Point will be open again after we do this brief kind of introductory piece and we get everybody seated. North Farmington High School Orchestra, guys. So that was our string quartet from North Farmington High School that just went and hid in the closet as we tried to celebrate them. So we'll make sure that they know that that applause was for them as they were leaving to pack up their instruments and get back to high school. So we're very, I'll say again, really grateful that you're all here with us today to celebrate this. It's a great moment for students, outstanding moment for families, and for our staff that was able to create this opportunity for families through a nomination process. It means a lot to them also. So very quickly, I need to thank the string quartet, which I did. I need to introduce to you Mrs. Pam Green, the President of the Board of Education, who's with us. And Terry Weems, Trustee with the Board of Education, is with us. And then I'm supposed to announce to you that lunch is served. Because as I'm eating dessert, you'll be hearing from our police chiefs from both Farmington Hills and the city of Farmington, because they both have remarks to make. So my ice cream is coming to my table right now. And I am going to, did you guys pull straws to see who's going to go first? Well, Mr. Frank Demers, the Director of Public Safety for the City of Farmington.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all enjoying your lunch. Pleasure, honor for me to be here to speak to all of you today. Second day of spring, or is it the third day of spring? March Madness, second. March Madness starts today. Any Michigan State fans in the crowd? Because I am not a Michigan State fan. And I would like nothing more than the second coming of Middle Tennessee State and Giddy Pods to knock out our friends from the Spartans out in the first round. But we'll see. Okay. So now that we're all friends, shots fired. Shots fired. Let me just kind of ease into my speech here. I want to recognize a few officials from the city of Farmington who are with us today. Mayor Steve Schneeman is with us. Mayor Pro Tem. Mayor Pro Tem Sarah Bowman, and our city manager David Murphy is at the table as well. Welcome all. Thanks for being here. I'm honored to be here with all of you today as you recognize the hard work of our turnaround honorees. Looking through today's program and reading through some of the stories of our honorees, there's a common theme that emerges and repeats itself year after year, at least for as many years as I've been invited to speak at this event. And that is that some had some setbacks, and some students had some setbacks or negative mindset that directly impacted their classroom performance. But through mentorship, setting achievable goals, you turned it around and transformed yourselves into enthusiastic students who are now role models for others to emulate. Sound pretty accurate? Absolutely. Absolutely. Make no mistake, this is a great day and one that you should all feel very proud of, to be a part of, and to celebrate with your families. So the topic of my brief speech today is going to go off from a little bit of what I've done in the past, which is, setting goals and self-motivation. But today I want to talk a little bit about failure, okay? Not necessarily something that would be at the top of the list for a turnaround award ceremony, but I think it's important to mention. Let me give you a little bit of advice about today. Remember this moment when you encounter the not-so-great days that will surely follow. The days when you tried but failed, because failure will happen. Colin Powell, retired four-star general of the former U.S. Secretary of State, is quoted as saying, There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. Learning from failure, that's the key thing that I take from that quote. This is a critical life skill, and one that I certainly am still trying to perfect. You will certainly experience failure in life, but it's how you react to it that really matters. Clearly, you have already faced challenges in your life and chose to make positive changes. Many of you are being recognized today because you decided you were not going to allow failure to define you. But when you experience failure in your life, as you fight to pursue your goals and dreams and future aspirations, you need to overcome it and recognize that you have the skills to overcome it. Remember the people who reached out to you for help in your time of need. Remember the close friends you confided in to help you through your tough times. And remember the positive self-talk that you gave yourself. And most importantly, remember that you are strong enough to persevere during times of adversity. So as it's been said before, it has been said that you always pass failure on your way to success. And when you avoid failure, you also avoid success. So I guess that's just my key term or focus of today's speech for all of you. Again, I'm proud of all of you. You should, your families, and you should all be very proud of yourself. Thank you again for the honor to speak with you today, and congratulations on your achievement. And I would next. Thank you. I will next call up my good friend from the city of Farmington Hills, Police Chief Chuck Nevis.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. I'm not going to say anything about basketball. Learned from the previous speaker. So good afternoon. On behalf of the City of Farmington Hills, the Farmington Hills Police Department, we're proud to greet you here today and help sponsor this event and congratulate our turnaround winners for their special achievements. There's a few city officials I'd like to introduce as well. In front of me to my left, don't be shy, give a wave, our Mayor, Dr. Ken Massey. Council Member Richard Lerner. Next to Councilman is our City Manager, Dave Boyer. And one Department Director, Ellen Schnackle from Special Services. As a chief, I attend probably over 100 events a year, and this is always by far one of my very favorites for the last 19 years. I've been at every single one. The positive energy in the room is incredible, and like everyone, we love turnaround stories and meeting our student heroes and reading about your stories. The funny thing about turnarounds, we rarely accomplish them alone. So we also celebrate today with many of the special people at your table, your family, your friends, your teachers who supported the students get their victories here today. In the police business, we specialize in turnarounds. That's what we do. As a matter of fact, our dispatch center receives over 40,000 911 calls during the year from residents of Farmington and Farmington Hills. That's over 100 times a day people are contacting us, and there's something to turn around. And people don't just call us with good news. They don't say, hey, I just made it from the bank to my car, okay? Or I woke up and my car was in the driveway, the keys were in the ignition and the doors were open and it's still there. Or I went to the city park and left my purse in the car and when I came back it was gone. Or you know, I made it to work safely without getting in a car crash. We just don't hear that. It's strictly the opposite, as you might expect. One of our goals in the police business is to keep down crime. I'm pleased to share with you a little bit, and just brag a little bit, to share with you for turning around crime. This past year, we're celebrating in our 45-year history as a city, the lowest serious Part A crime rate we've ever had in the history of our city. That would be just the lowest number of burglaries, the lowest number of auto thefts, the lowest number of stolen cars, the lowest number of larceny from autos. And for the turnaround winners today, those 19 years who were here 19 years ago and beyond that means we have about 3,000 fewer bad things happening in our city. So with all the bad news that we sometimes get, some encouraging news to share with you. This happens because our community is very healthy. Our police officers, our families, our teenagers, our teachers, our mentors, in masses are doing the right thing. Doing the right thing is one of my mottos, and the students here today all overcame some kind of a challenge because you did the right thing. It's always the right time to do the right thing. It's at the Martin Luther King statue in Washington, D.C. I teach that to my new staff members. I teach it at the police academy, and it's the same motto I teach at the new Chiefs Police School in Lansing a couple times a year. I enjoy being a police officer. 45 years ago, I chose this job. It's something I've really been happy doing. It makes me feel as though I've never had to do a day of work in my life. But I do remember back when I was a teenager how hard it was, the job of being a teenager. And teens today even have it harder. I'm sure that the adults in the room and myself can kind of think back to you teens. If you think of some of the pressures and challenges that you face, a lot of them haven't changed. They're the same ones. The grades, image, relationships, popularity, peer pressure, hectic schedules, that no sleep, acceptance, body image, fitting in, finances, the future, college, jobs, maybe bullying, all kinds of things. But there's one thing that you face today that I never faced in my time, and that would be social media. You know, the iPhone and social media brings an entirely different set of pressures to teens today than I had to face in my time. Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, and others, in just a moment or a snap of the finger, you know, communication of some kind can be relayed to countless numbers of people. So both teen life and adult life can be scary. Turnaround challenges, they keep coming at us, and they never stop. We must learn to embrace the challenges. And some of you are going like, what? The chief says like these turnaround challenges? That's what life is filled with. And with each one, they prepare us for the next. Each one makes us leave our comfort zone and makes us grow. And each we get a chance to celebrate with wins like we're celebrating with the students here today. Remember to do the right thing. I want to share a story with you real quick. I was leaving a Pontiac, a police chief's event yesterday, and I was walking through the parking lot, and I saw a car, and on the back of the car, in the back window, was a square bumper sticker. And it had these two words. It said, "Never quit." And I looked closer at it, and I thought what a good motto that was. And I looked even closer, and small letters underneath it said, EOW, November 23rd, 2017. For the non-police people, you might not be aware, end of watch is what EOW stands for. It was a bumper sticker in front of my friend, Deputy Eric Overall from the Oakland County Sheriff's Department. He was killed less than 2 years ago when an individual with a mental health was driving a car and deliberately drove at and hit Sergeant or Deputy Overall and killed him. His motto was, and I remember being at his funeral and hearing the motto, never quit. That's what he lived by. He said it was talked about at his funeral, so I'm going to leave you with a couple of rules. Rule number 1, never quit. And rule number 2, remember rule number 1, never quit. Wayne Gretzky never quit because he was told he was too small to play professional hockey. One of my favorite basketball players of all time is Michael Jordan. Loved to always share that he was cut from his high school basketball team. And we heard Director Demers talk about failure. There's also a message from Michael Jordan. He missed 9,000 shots in his professional career, and he missed the game-winning shot 26 times. So that tells you, even at the pro rank, you know, perfection is not obtainable for anyone, and you still have to come back. NFL football player Michael Orr, featured in the movie Blind Side, never quit because he lived on the streets as a child or grew up with a crack-addicted mother. For those older in the crowd, singer Julio Iglesias never quit, famous singer. He was cut from his high school choir because he couldn't carry a tune. And Beethoven never quit when he was told he would be a hopeless composer. And the list goes on. You can Google those, and there's hundreds of them out there. Remember rule number 1, never quit. Remember rule number 2. If you forget rule number 1, never quit. Thank you.
So I would like to ask Mr. Todd Lippa to come up front and introduce our guest speaker.
Well, I'm not quite as afraid as Chuck. Everyone knows that one of my passions is Michigan, so I'm there with you. Although I hope to go green tonight, they can win. Just not at the last part. Real quickly, I just want to introduce my staff back there, who many of you know because your children have gone through the after-school program. So thank you to the 4 ladies that are with me today. You know, 25 years ago, there was a lady that asked me if I would look at putting together an after-school program, and today she is sitting in the back of this room with me at our table, and that's Nancy Bates, former mayor of Farmington. And one of my newest friends, and I'm very proud that to get to know him, Daryl Beebe is with Southfield Schools. He oversees all the family operations for them. And Daryl is here with us today to look at this, so maybe it'll be in Southfield. And last, before I introduce our special speaker, I want to say thanks to George. Thank you for the leadership that you've given us to make sure that this program continues. And as we go into our 18th year of doing this, we're very glad that you were at the helm. Thanks, George. Now, if I should happen not to be here tomorrow, as the two chiefs just so eloquently spoke to us, please check Terry Diker, because she told me she's going to kill me after today. I'm not afraid of their guns, I'm afraid of her. So, Terry Diker. There is so much to say about this woman, so much to say about her and her husband, really both. You are in for a true treat. Someone who's just like every one of us. Someone who doesn't have a fancy title, a big educational background, but probably one of the smartest women I've ever met. Because what she has done is saved lives. She has saved people, jobs, through her husband and hers beautiful operation of roof management. One of the greatest and best stories you'll hear today. She understands change. You were meant to be here today. Each and every one of you that's receiving an award today, you meant to be here. You're here for a purpose. We can call it a turnaround. You just saw change faster than most of us see change. You made a difference, not only to your parents and to your families, but to those you go to school with every day. You are now an example of change. It's not an easy thing. But Terry Diker saw change in many different ways. When Longacre needed change and to be saved, her and Tom made the change and saved it. When their business was about to fold, they gave up everything for their own employees. Every single program that I've ever been a part of, roof management, because of Terry and Tom, have been a part of it too. You're in for a treat. She is truly an inspiration to me every day. God has blessed me to be a good friend of hers. I call her my friend. Sometimes I call her my sister, because they're probably closer than any two people I can imagine. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my deep honor to introduce to you Terry Diker.
Wow, that introduction, I wanted to say Terry who? Thank you and good afternoon. I want to, I'll get this together in 1 second. Order here. No, is there a piece of paper laying on the ground over there? Yeah. Oh There you go. All right, let's start over. Thank you for inviting me. Good afternoon, and congratulations on all your achievements. Before I get started, I want to assure you that public speaking is not my professional gig. I don't do it part-time or full-time, so consider yourself warned. So far in your life, you've had the advantage of someone loving you enough to lend you a helping hand and guide you, whether it be a teacher, a family member, or a mentor. Someone has been there to encourage you on and help you make positive changes in your life to find your newfound success. Now are you looking in the mirror and wondering what's next? Let me share with you what I did, and hopefully it'll give you some fresh ideas and things you should consider as I tell you about my life's journey, the road less traveled. I remember back in high school, we had to take a foreign language, mine was Spanish. About a month into my class, the nun came up to me and told me she was dropping me from the class. And I'm like, well, why? And she said, because you don't know enough English to take a foreign language. True story. I would have definitely been in the turnaround program back in my day. When it comes to school, it was extremely difficult. To say that I was not smarter than the average bear. I was certain when God said, come forth for brains, I was fifth in line. I remember back in 9th grade, they gave us aptitude tests. I don't know if they still do that. Aptitude is supposed to tell you what you're going to do with your life, a direction to go in. I take my test, I get my results, and they tell me I should have gotten into forestry. I'm like, are you kidding me? I can't stand hiking or camping. I knew that wasn't the path for me. So I didn't find out till later in life that I had many talents and I had some gifts, but higher education was not for me. So I wondered to myself, what am I going to do with my life? What path am I going to follow? About that time, I met my wonderful husband, and together, hand in hand, we walked down the road of uncertainty together. But I did grow up in the roofing industry. My father owned a commercial roofing company out of Detroit. I was working for him in the early 80s in the office, and it wasn't long, and my husband was working there too. Tom learned every aspect of the roofing industry from the ground up. However, when my dad retired in 1993, Tom came to me and asked if I would consider starting something on our own. At that time, we had 2 toddlers and a teenager. And this is where my smartness really showed, now that I look back on it. I never once thought, it never entered my mind, what happens if it doesn't work? What happens if we fail? I knew that Tom was honest and had integrity. He could never sell somebody or would sell somebody anything if they didn't truly need it. So off we started, our mom and pop repair and maintenance roofing company. I would like to say that we were a howling success, but we weren't. We were putting food on the table and we were getting by. Our employees consisted of Tom, of course, the foreman, and me, his helper. However, we did have our fair share of adventures along the way. One which almost prompted Tom to call the Farmington Hills Fire Department to have me hoisted off the roof. As time passed, our business grew. We outgrew our 2-room office out of the house, and we purchased a commercial building on 8 Mile. Dreams finally started coming together. We hired one of our first hirees was a turnaround program student and 2 graduates from Farmington High. We were excited. We were now a crew of 5. Just about then, as we were starting to spread our wings, the economy took a nosedive. 2010 will go down in my life's history as the worst year of my life. Not only did the company take a nosedive, my dad, my biggest cheerleader, my mentor, passed away from lung cancer. And the home that we raised our family in for 28 years, the one that Tom and I all but rebuilt ourselves, was in foreclosure. So what did we do? We pulled ourselves up, put our nose to the grindstone, pushed forward, learned to work smarter, and cut our expenses, but we never gave up. Eventually, things did turn around again, and we continued to follow our dream. Before I knew it, we were hiring more employees. We now have 8 office staff, a superintendent, 2 foremen, 8 crew members, and 2 service crews. 2 years ago, we were the largest Duralast contractor in the state of Michigan. I now find myself running a multi-million-dollar business. I love being in control of my own destiny. The money is wonderful, but it's not about the money. It's about your work ethic, and it's about doing the right thing. I think some of the other speakers touched on that. Who knows? You guys may find yourself coming to work for me someday. There's a lot to be said about working with your hands, and nothing ever to be ashamed of. So I've put together 10 things that I hope you take with you through life. Goals, these 10 things will help you succeed and find your goal, your life's goal. The number one thing, be on time. That means don't show up 5 minutes after. As a wise old man told me one time, 15 minutes early is on time. Work ethics, earn every dollar. Get what you're getting paid for, and work. If you're getting paid, work it. Attitude and effort. Another wise man, my dad, told me never do anything half-assed. If you're gonna do it half-assed, don't bother doing it at all. Do it to the best, everything to the best of your ability. Passion. Passion's a big one. Whatever you do it with passion. Grab the bull by the horns and don't let go, wherever the ride takes you. Energy. Okay, this is gonna be a hard one. Even though marijuana is legal, you don't do it, you don't show up high, and you don't do it on company time. Bottom line, I don't want you falling off my roof. So, go the extra mile. The extra mile is never crowded. If you see something that needs to be done, even though it's not your job, do it anyways. I had, about 5 years ago, I hired a middle-aged man just released from prison. When I'd go in the morning, Dave was sweeping up my warehouse. He was washing windows in the van. He was always doing something. He wasn't getting paid for it. This was all before the crew took off in the morning. It wasn't in his job description, but he was always going that extra mile. To this day, I wish I had 5 more days. Be coachable. Okay, we're at number 7. I'm getting there. Be coachable. Make eye contact. Number 8, respect. Earn respect. Nobody owes you respect. You have to earn it. Number 9, very important, put your phones away. When you're on my time clock, save your texting and your personal phone calls to your break or after hours. And the last thing, number 10, count your blessings. Count your blessings and give back. Whether you give back at church or you give back to your community to make it a better place to live. Always remember, it's your duty. Please give back. These points will not cost you a single penny. However, it will make you a great employee and an honest, productive member of society. These 10 rules that I hope you take forward with you in life, because whether you work for somebody else or you start your own business, these 10 traits will help you succeed in life. In closing, I want to let you know college is not meant for everybody. There is a world of opportunity in the trades. Whether you become a heating and cooling contractor, plumber, carpenter, or a roofer, think about the trades as you move forward. You can have a very successful future in the construction field or in the field. The fact that you are here today, being celebrated as a winner, proves you have got the right stuff. Make it work for you. Use your winning skills that you have already demonstrated to take you forward, to keep you on the right path. I will be looking for you along my life's journey. Remember, it doesn't matter whether you're driving a cement truck, a tank, or a Mercedes. Honk your horn and wave so that I know that you found your own way in life. And good luck. God bless, and congratulations to all of you.
Terry? Huh? You survived. How about that? That was great. Thank you very much. So I have a list of thank yous to keep going through, and then we have some celebrating to do that we've been waiting a long time. And students that are in the room, I apologize for the amount of time of adult speaking you've had to bear through to get to your stuff. But we're going to get there pretty quick. So first, Angie Smith, the Secretary of the Board of Education, snuck in while lunch was being served. So thank you, Angie. So I want to start by thanking all of our parents and family members that are here today. We know that these turnaround moments don't happen for students unless the family is supporting them. And we're going to ask you to play a part in the program in a moment. But I want you to know that from a school community and from a community standpoint, we are very grateful for hanging in with your kids. So thank you for that. Teachers, administrators, counselors, and other educators who are in the room, if you guys would just stand up for a moment so people can see. So we're going to ask you to play a part later too, but we'll get to that. This doesn't happen without sponsors. So we've had some long-running sponsors of the turnaround program. Two of the major sponsors, along with the school district of the city of Farmington and the city of Farmington Hills. So thank you all of you that are here in front of me. Focal Point Photography, they'll be available again for those of you that weren't able to get your photos done, but they've been a great sponsor. Heaney Sunquist, the LOC Federal Credit Union, and I know we have friends from LOC here today. All you're going to do is wave? Is that all we get? Seriously. Of course, Roof Management, which we've heard from, but thank you. You've always been a great supporter of the program. Our local Exemplar Club donates funds to help make this possible, so the exemplars that are here, thank you for your support. Springbrook Garden Florist donated flowers and boutonnieres, so we want to thank them for that. And then this is the last thank you until we get to kids, but members of the Turnaround Committee, if you would just stand up so we can applaud for your help. All right, so first I'd like to invite the President of the Board of Education and our two mayors up front for handshaking. All right, so here's what we're going to do. First of all, you're going to come up and get some stuff, right? We love stuff. We're going to ask you to stay here because we're going to call you up by alphabetical order. When we announce the student, so I'm going to practice right now. So this is just practice. Nothing really happens here. But I will say, Julian Amo. Where's Julian? Come on, you're up. Stand up. So you just stand right there for a moment, pause for glory, because we're all right here with you. So as Julian stands up and gets ready to come up front and get all of this magnificent swag, I would like the family members and the person that nominated Julian to stand up with him at the table so we can acknowledge you also. So that's what we're going to do. So practice is over. This is real now, Julian. You ready? Okay, let's see you get out of that seat again. Oh, I forgot. Wait a minute. We have all kinds of good stuff. I have to tell you what's in the bag, the goodie bag. And where's Kitty? Kitty, would you stand up for a moment, please? Kitty put all this stuff together. Thank you, Kitty. So the Chamber of Commerce provided these bags, and we put everything in. In the bag, you have a laser tag coupon compliments of Zap Zone. You have a $25 gift card to Amazon compliments of your PTSA at your building. You have a certificate for a bucket of golf balls at the Farmington Hills Golf Course. You could use that coupon to go to the ice arena or to the archery center and some kind of sweet treats from the Farmington Hills Special Services. There's a bottle of water to keep you hydrated because you probably have to stand up front for hours now as long as it's taking it. And an apple a day to keep the doctor away or to give to your teacher, whichever you prefer. So now we're ready. From Harrison High School in 10th grade, Julian Ama. Nominated by Amy Proctor. I'm not sure that David is with us, but in 11th grade from Harrison High School, David Bitson. In 11th grade from North Farmington High School, Dwayne Cole, nominated by Wendy Martin. In 8th grade from Power Middle School, James Cole, nominated by Aaron Young. Almost too much stuff. In 11th grade from Farmington High School, Elliot DeVetta, nominated by Stacy Rousel. In 12th grade from Farmington High School, Lucas Dumitrescu. Lucas was also nominated by Stacy Rousel. How'd I do? Thank you. In 9th grade from Harrison High School, Ian Dunn, nominated by Amy Proctor. In 8th grade from Warner Middle School, Ben Glickman, nominated by Dave Chomel. In 8th grade from Warner Middle School, Diaria Hutchinson, nominated by Alan Archer and Kelly Kaminsky. In 12th grade from North Farmington High School, Patrick Marshick, nominated by Greg Wiskowski. In 7th grade from the Farmington STEAM Academy, Benicio Martinez Bassett, nominated by Brian Lambert. In 8th grade from Power Middle School, Jenna Maurer, nominated by Cheryl Newcomb. In 8th grade, from Power Middle School, Marcellus Montgomery, nominated by Allison Robinson. From Farmington High School, in 12th grade, James Newhouse, nominated by Christina Fernandez. In 12th grade, from Farmington Central High School, Devin Osborne, nominated by Terry Haas. In 8th grade, from East Middle School, Sydney Pham, nominated by Tessie Chin. From East Middle School in 8th grade, Anthony Ramirez, nominated by Amy McConnell. In 8th grade, from Power Middle School, Christopher Redding, nominated by Kim Cowell. It's a long walk from the back. From the Farmington STEAM Academy in 8th grade, Elijah Richards, nominated by the 8th grade team. We're around the corner. In 12th grade, from Farmington High School, Jeff Rogers, nominated by Linda Valise. In 7th grade, from East Middle School, Josh Russing, nominated by Maureen Lucci. In 12th grade, from Harrison High School, Miranda Spizak, nominated by Jamie Gibbons. From North Farmington High School in 12th grade, Ryan Tawney, nominated by Denise Braun. In 8th grade from Warner Middle School, Liam Thompson, nominated by Jillian Henry. So we're training these students to be a future superintendent, because if they get to the end of the line, I'm right by an exit door. So we can sneak out. In 8th grade from East Middle School, Evelyn Wallagumby, nominated by Mary Jordan. In 11th grade from North Farmington High School, Anna Whitfield, nominated by Charlie Stromboli. In 10th grade from Farmington Central High School, Quentin Wilk, nominated by Ellen Edith. In 8th grade from Warner Middle School, Dominique Wilson, nominated by Amy Gibson. Well, I'm out of kids. So I have a couple end of the moment announcements to make, particularly for students. So, handshakers, thank you very much. Dignitaries, handshakers. So first of all, thank you. Again, very grateful, very wonderful moment for us to be able to celebrate with students and with families and community members the turnaround that our students have made. What you see represented here today happens over and over and over in the Farmington Public Schools. These students represent others that have had turnarounds, and we're able to acknowledge and celebrate them today, but there are others that we couldn't accommodate today. So students, we're going to ask you to stay up here with us so that we can have some photos taken. And then your parents are going to want more photos taken with you individually, of course, because now you have all your swag and your awards. So we'll have to make time for that. Focal point, we have a few more families that will have the opportunity to focal point, and they'll hang in there with us as long as we need them to. Is that fair to say? Thank you very much. So thank you. I guess we're done. Thank you very much.